Emerging mothers, we are back again with the same question. Are we still on a mission prior to our teens transition? And yes, that is a resounding yes, YES. And you know what? We are right around in the same boat, if not a similar boat, because I still, of course, have a young teen here. She'll be going to the ninth grade next year in high school. And so, but as she continues to mature, I am committed to continue serving and pouring into you, so as your teens mature, then you'll have the information that you need before he or she goes off onto the college campus or to the military base, or maybe they're obtaining their own apartment. I recently received an email, and the email mentioned, or better yet, we sent out an email blast. And the email blast focused on ways that we as mothers can discontinue over worrying about what's going to happen in the future and all of these different types of things. And so, what I wanted to do in this session, and this will be a short session, but nonetheless, I wanted to connect with you. I want to talk a little bit about that same subject. I just wanted to drill down on it just a little bit and just share five more ways that we can avoid over worrying about our college teens. They're probably still at the home right now, at the house right now, and they have yet to transition out, or they could have already left last August. But either way, these will apply. First and foremost, I want to mention number one. One of the ways that we can avoid over worrying is to constantly picture ourselves eliminating our hovering. Now, mothers, you know, like I know, that we want to know what's going on. We want to help. We have all of this advice, both wanted and unwanted. And a lot of times when we give all of that advice, then it almost encourages a relationship or an interaction that does opposite of what we wanted to do. I looked up the word hovering or hover, and it means to fluctuate around a given point. And of course, we know as mothers that that given point is our son or our daughter. And again, when we hover, and some people even have other different names for hovering, but I'll just call it that for right now. Instead of hovering, let's really spend that time bonding and connecting. And there are limits to everything, including the hovering. So I want to encourage us to one way we can identify whether or not we're hovering is if we're taking the cue from our teens. A lot of times we're spearheading and we're initiating and we're the front runner on a lot of things that we're doing, activities or what have you, with our teens. And sometimes whether they want to do it with us or not. That can be hovering and that can be pressure for them. So I would encourage us to become cognizant of that. And even sometimes, again, taking the cue from our teens. If it's something that they want to do, or if it's something that they want to discuss, or that they want to focus on, or again pursue, then you know what? It's good to maybe take a couple of steps back. And you know what? As I'm talking with you all, I am talking to myself that taking a couple of steps back, of course, is a win-win situation. And okay, and so the second point, or the second topic, or the second step that I'd like to mention, of the five ways to avoid over worrying about our teen, is to be present when we're bonding. It could mean that before they leave the home and go off onto the college campus, that we're scheduling maybe movie nights or vacations, or it could be a date night or something along those lines with our teen. That can help us to avoid over worrying, because we're spending this precious time with them. We're in the moment, as opposed to maybe being with them and maybe reading a book, or being with them and we're on our cell phones, or being with them, of course, and we are, our minds are elsewhere. So scheduling those regular dates out, or any types of outings or vacations, things along the movie nights, things along those lines, then what some parents do if they have a parent-child journal. And so, they may journal in it from time to time. They may encourage their child, their teen to journal in it. And so, this is something that, starts like the year before they go off to college. And, just as a way of sharing their thoughts, yet down on paper. Of course, a lot of times it's nothing like totally intimate or anything along those lines, but it's just a matter of just what they're thinking, how they're feeling, where their emotions are, and so they just jot them down. And so it's interesting because usually when we think of a journal, individuals have their own journals. I may have my own journal, my team may have her own journal, but you know what, this is a combo, this is a combination journal. And a number of parents, this is the approach they take. In reference to wanting to do something again that will help them to not worry, and then is still bonding. You know what your teen's thoughts are. You're jotting down your thoughts, and so it's a win-win situation in this journal. Uh, I want to mention something that myself and my daughter did before she headed off to the University, Virginia Tech, in 2016. After she graduated, we wanted to throw her a graduation party, of course. And she mentioned to us that she would prefer to do something service related, something to help other people. So our church was looking for volunteers to go to Nairobi, Kenya. And we volunteered. We went to make a long story short, we went to Nairobi, Kenya, and that's what we did. The whole week or so we were there, week to 10 days we were there. We served, and that is one of the most memorable times of my life. Going to Nairobi, Kenya, my daughter, she mentioned that when she arrived at Virginia Tech, she wanted to be an engineer. And so while we were in Nairobi, Kenya, she was able to learn quite a bit about just how cow waste is used to increase, improve, or even create electricity in Nairobi, Kenya. And this was totally interesting to her. So what she did is she ended up putting that information that she learned and researched, of course, in her college essays. And I have a real good feeling that that was looked upon when it came to the decisions being made in reference to accepting her on into Virginia Tech. And so that again was a very, very memorable time for me. And so when I think about this being present and bonding with your teen before they leave the home and land on the college campus, that will totally help mothers to discontinue worrying. So, of course, first, making up our mind to eliminate that hovering. Secondly, being present during the bonding phase. And then also making sure that we remain away from that role of being overprotective. Some people call it the helicopter mom. Some people even call it the hummingbird mom. And so let me share with you, because I lean on studies. Yeah, I am all about understanding what numerous subjects are saying, so that there's a derived opinion, some facts, if you will, away from opinions, facts about what people are thinking, what people are feeling. So I absolutely must read this to you as it pertains to mothers being overprotective and needing to always remain in the mix as it pertains to our teens, as opposed to allowing our teens to possibly think for themselves more so than not. Dan Jones, who is the director of the Counseling and Psychological Services at the Appalachian State University, says a lot of students are coming to school who don't have the resilience of the previous generation. They can't tolerate discomfort or having a struggle. When I hear those comments, that helps me to take a few steps over to the side when I think about my entering into freshman year teenager, and just analyzing her behavior and her actions, her understanding her thought process, and allowing her to take a little bit more charge, of course, in her life, as opposed to making so many decisions, as opposed to checking with her more first and foremost. And so, because I want her, when she lands on the college campus, I want her to be able to handle the struggle. I want her to be able to manage discomfort. I'd like for her to be resilient, because anyone who's been on the college campus knows that there are some challenges on the college campus. And we think maybe the challenges are mainly academic. Mm-mm. It's socially, it is psychologically, it is intellectually, interacting with other people. I mean, meaning, socially, of course, all of those, and to compound all of that, we want them to be able to handle it. So when Dan Jones mentions that, it makes me, just tweak my mothering to make sure, of course, that she's able to handle herself. Then there's that fear of the classes, fear of the other students, getting a C and an inability to interact with the prof to identify maybe what happened on this test or what happened on this homework assignment. But there's this pushback of wanting to avoid those talks with adults. All of those different types of things. We just want to make sure that they're able to guide themselves and be able to handle the challenges and be able to complete the tasks and achieve the goals the moment they're out of our homes. We want them to be able to do that. Okay. And then the fourth is to promote resilience. That would help us to avoid over worrying. If we are able to manage that prior to them leaving our homes, then we feel more comforted. So again, if we're able to help them before they leave to navigate through the fears and disappointments, the adversities, and the unhappy states that they encounter, then of course they will have done it so much while they're with us, then they'll know how to practice that, or not necessarily practice it, but be able to manage that, of course, once they've left the home. And also, I have here, because this gives them experience, of course, the last and final, before I even go to this last point, as it pertains to promoting resilience, it's okay to give our teens permission to be unhappy. Sometimes they feel as though there needs to be this happy state all the time. No, no, no. It's okay. Every moment in life is not happy or gratifying. So, I'd like to just give my teen who's still here, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be unhappy. That is totally a part of life. Okay, our last one, and that is to give them space. Give them space. Many students complain, and I should have brought the study with me today. They complain that they have less space after they have now landed on the college campus than they did when they were living at the house. And so we know that when, and hovering can take a lot of different forms, and constantly calling, constantly visiting the campus without without them knowing, that can cause an intense relationship. So please, emerging mothers, let's allow them to really spearhead and take the reins of their own lives. And you know what? If it seems as though your relationship is intense, just when you can, toss on a little love, maybe send some cards on a regular basis. you know a, a mended relationship can always happen with a nice care package, or something along those lines. So you know what, those are the five. Eliminating our hovering, being present in our bonding, number two. Avoid being overprotective, being that helicopter or that hummingbird mom. Also promoting resilience, and then also giving them space. So thank you so much, very much, for listening to these 5 tips. I do want to remind you, please, that that Emerging Mother Evolutions Masterclass will take place February the 22nd, which is a Monday, all the way until then Tuesday, March the 2nd, 6 p.m. I look forward to seeing you all there. You will want to register for that. And listen, whenever I'm getting ready to do something fun or learn some new information, I'm thinking about what friend can I bring to the event. So feel free to jingle up your friends, give them the information so that they're able to register as well. Because, so much is going on, even in this COVID style higher education that we're actually experiencing. And so I know they'll want to have the information as well. I will see you all back here next week, Tuesday, 6 p.m. These are, of course, my regular lives on Instagram, Facebook, and then also on Zoom. And then also, listen, I want to remind you of this. Twice a week, I zip out an email blast, and it has information as well. And it also has what I call my client candy. And what client candy is it's a document that you can print off from this email, and it allows you to jot down some thoughts in reference to the question that's being asked on the what I call is the client candy. Because you know what, it helps you out and it increases your knowledge, it improves your intellect regarding this phase that you're about to enter. So drop or DM me, if you will, please, your email address. Listen, love you all. You know I appreciate you. I just love serving you and giving you the information that I know, especially since I already have two already on the college campus. Any mistakes or errors or anything that I made along those lines, I want to give you the heads up on it. So I will see you back here next Tuesday, 6 p.m. And again, I'll be on Facebook, Zoom, and then also Instagram Live. Love you much. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.